All right, apparently we are live. We are notifying viewers that you are live. We are live on Peoples OMODA JQ. We're going to be talking about this car right here. And once you can tell that we're good, we're live, we are up. You can see us, you can hear us. Wonderful. I can see some people joining. Brilliant. All right. Hi everyone, I'm Colin, and this is Peoples OMODA Live from Edinburgh, where about 10 minutes ago it was blue skies outside, the sun was out. We were going to go outside and show you this car, but the heavens have opened. I can barely see 200 meters that way because the rain is so heavy, so we're inside now. We're going to show you this car here. It's the OMODA 5. I'm going to take you a tour around the outside. We're going to jump in the inside, show you what it's all about, talk about that giant rugby ball on top of the car and why it's there. But thank you so much for joining me. My name's Colin. Who do we have? Oh, Curtis. Hi, Curtis. Hi, Stuart. Lots of different people. Tell me where you are. I'm in Edinburgh. I'm in Hermiston, which is in the west of the city. Lots of people joining. Great. If you are just joining us, this is the OMODA 5. I'm Colin. I'm going to show you a tour of this beautiful car, both outside and inside, all the stuff it can do, and we'll take some questions as well. Can still see more people joining. Great. Hi, Josh. Hello, Charles. Lots of people. Great to see. All right. Tell us where you are. I'm in Edinburgh, which was beautifully sunny and is now chucking it down. We were going to go outside, and not today. You have to come back another time. All right. So the reason we are here, friends, is to show you this car, the OMODA 5. So first of all, let's take you around here. I've been driving this car. Hi Elaine, hi Rizzo. I've been driving this car for the last few days, and let me tell you, it's a head turner, mainly because of this grille. Now, a lot of cars like this is a compact SUV. A lot of these sort of SUV types have massive grills. This is the Peoples OMODA JQ showroom in Edinburgh, by the way. Got ones in Falkirk and Liverpool. I'm just going to show you the JQ because very similarly, its grill is absolutely massive. And so this one here, similarly, massive and very distinctive as well. To me, this is giving off beehive, it's giving off honeycomb. If you have any thoughts as to what you're seeing, I'll see if I can give you a better shot of it here. Hello to Mark, hello Will, hi Nick. Tell me, what is this giving? To me, this is giving beehive. It's giving honeycomb. But it's particularly distinctive. A lot of people seeing it and thinking, what on earth is that car? It's the OMODA 5. It's a compact SUV, and we are here live in Edinburgh at our Hermiston showroom, Peoples OMODA JQ. This is the OMODA 5. I'm going to take you around more of this car. All right, let's have a look inside, shall we? So here, this is a 1.6 litre turbo petrol engine, purring away here. It's one of the cleanest interiors I've seen in terms of a modern car. Some of these are an absolute nightmare. But this is much, much easier to look at and figure out where everything is in. All looking good. I can see some people have asked about the rugby ball. Let's talk about the rugby ball, shall we? Because there's a giant one on the roof. There's also a very small one here, just on the windshield. So, OMODA JQ are the sponsors of the European Challenge Cup, which is a rugby tournament. And specifically, next week in Edinburgh Rugby are playing the Lions at Hive Stadium, which is next to Murrayfield. It's like the smaller one next door. And we're going to be there. I'm going to be there next Friday, between about 6 and 8, before the game kicks off. So if you want to come and see these cars in person, come and chat to me. That is next Friday in Edinburgh, because we'll have a couple of these cars there, and we'll talk more about what they can do rather than just my knowledge of rugby, which currently is very small. I know much more about this car. So, speaking of the car, let's continue around. I've shown you the front, particularly attention-grabbing. Once again, I mean, look at that. There's one thing I do want to talk about, which is the LED headlights. It's like a T-shape, almost like a reverse T-shape. We often see that in other similar compact SUVs, but it's really nicely done, and it's also here too. These are entirely adjustable. I know, for example, if I'm driving late at night, occasionally I'm blinded by someone coming the other way, you can adjust these with the internal settings, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes' time. Thank you everyone who's joined us so far. My name's Colin. This is Peoples OMODA live from Edinburgh. We're in the west of the city. We were going to go outside, but it is chucking it down, so we're inside today. Anyway, this is the OMODA 5. Really stunning from the front. Let's go around the side. So this is a compact SUV. I'm just going to show you the length of it. It's a little bit shorter than some other SUVs you'll find in this range, but it's still a good size. I'm going to stand next to it just for a comparison. I am 6 foot tall because I got myself measured. So it is roughly, yeah, it's about, I would say about 5 foot in height, but it's a really good size, good presence on the roads. And if I show you the back, we'll take it even further. Okay. In fact, before we do that, let me show you the wheels. Because in particular, it's often good to get a size comparison. So these are 18-inch alloys. If I crouch right on down, you can see the size of it. If I bring it right down as well, you'd see this is almost at my shoulder, so it's a good size of wheel, good size of alloy as well. Really nice finish on it. It's like almost like a charcoal matte. Some of you will have noticed the color of this car. This is officially jade green. It's jade green, but there's other different colors. I know some of you are thinking, what on earth? Jade green is this one, but there's garnet red, there is obsidian black, there's cobalt blue. The OMODA 5 does come, I want to say, in about a dozen different colors. So rather than just this one, loads of different ones you can customize from. All right, let's go to the back. Now we're starting with the boot open, so I can show you it. It's about 400 litres, about 380 to be specific in terms of boot space. And again, I'm going to show you a size comparison if I get myself almost in the boot or sat on the boot. So we are reaching back here. That to me is like a decent size airport suitcase. If you're going away for a couple of weeks, comfortably fitting inside here. We have some under space here as well. I believe there may be lots of different replacements for the vehicle underneath, but this is essentially just that 380 litre boot space, nice and comfortable, lots of room in here. If I close this, we'll see exactly what the back of it looks like. And I think it's one of the most distinctive parts of this OMODA is the actual shape. And if I get the angle right, you'll see it. Yeah, there we go, look at this. Look at the curve on that taillight. It actually starts here and it curves in the way and then back out the way. I think my massive head might have obscured that. Let's try that again. Yeah, look at that curve. That's so unusual to find in an SUV. You'd often see it in a much smaller car. For those just joining us, this is the OMODA 5. I'm currently taking you around the exterior. It really is, in terms of, yeah, a distinctive shape. I really like this. You're hard pressed to find it in any other SUV. Now, something else I'm going to show you here is the spoilers. Before any supercar fans come at me and say, haha, spoilers, you've not seen a spoiler. Technically, these are actually spoilers. They're reducing drag in the car. It does, the OMODA 5 does 0 to 60 in 7.9 seconds, which for a compact SUV is decent. So we've got this spoiler here, we've got another one up top, and that's essentially making the car more aerodynamic and keeping up those speeds. It's a powerful car, 190 brake horsepower, 1.6 litre turbo petrol engine, and of course you can test drive it yourself. I've been test driving it for the last few days. It's a very enjoyable drive. I'm going to show you some of the bells and whistles inside in just a second. Thank you for those of you who are just joining. This is Peoples OMODA Live. The OMODA 5 is our focus today. If you want to find out more, peoplesomoda.co.uk. All right, let's continue round. Can we open the boot again? That's a good question, because I'd like to show you some of the space. Now let's see. Do I need my key for this? No, I don't. Tremendous. So for those of you who are just missing, because I know that most of us are trying to figure out, does the boot have enough space for all my shopping and suitcases and clothes? Yes, it does. 380 litres. And the button to close it, rather than manually, is that one there. There we go. Rather than me manually forcing it down, there's a button that closes it. All right, let's continue around the sides, give you that wide shot. I mean, look at that outline. It's quite distinctive, really, really does shake it out. Look at that. All right, I believe it's time to jump in and show you the OMODA 5 inside, and it's time to go handheld. If you are just joining us, this is the OMODA 5. I've taken you around the exterior there, but let's go inside the car. And to do that, I'm going to take you off the tripod. All right. So inside the car we go. So one of the first things you'll notice about the OMODA 5 is it's really airy and light. And part of that is, of course, this sunroof. People's, as a dealership, as a garage, we've got bases here in Edinburgh. We've got ones in Falkirk, ones in Liverpool. And last week I was in one of the cars in the back from Edinburgh to Liverpool. And let me tell you, if you're in a car for about 4 hours and you have basically just fabric overhead, it can get pretty dark, particularly over the winter. And that is why, particularly with this OMODA 5, but also with the JQ that we've got here in Edinburgh, the sunroof makes a huge amount of difference to the driving experience for both the driver, but also for the passengers. So having that sunroof is really, really useful. And let me see if I can test this with a voice command. Let's see. Hello, OMODA.
What's up?
Open the sunroof, please.
Got it. It's opening.
Yeah, I've been filming content with the OMODA 5 the last few days, and you'll see in the next couple of days a more professionally shot version of me doing that. And part of the reason why that's really useful is beyond just the fact that it makes the car very modern, but actually if I'm driving, and as it is in Edinburgh today, it was originally glorious sunshine, it's now chucking it down. Let's say I need to either close the sunroof or open the sunroof whilst driving on the motorway. If I try and do that manually, sure, it might be a button, might be something up here, that's going to take my focus away from the road. If I'm simply issuing a voice command, that takes away that element of risk. Hello, OMODA.
Yes, I'm here.
Close the sunroof, please.
Okay, I'll close the sunroof.
Yeah. So that makes life so much easier than having to figure out, as you're driving along, the rain starts coming down, where's the button to close the sunroof? Doesn't matter, because with the OMODA, which makes life much easier. Can I do another one? Let's see. Hello, OMODA.
I'm listening.
Close the passenger window, please.
Closing passenger window.
Oh, that one's already closed. That'll be why. Difficult to close something that is already closed. So this is what the voice commands on the OMODA can do. There's a couple of options for asking it to save music or to play music as well. And there's a nice little...
Connect music first.
There we go. OMODA's hearing me saying play music, and it's saying, well, you need to connect the music first.
I don't see any music I can play.
Well, there we go. That's because if you were to play my music, all the viewers would leave. Because my music is the kind of music you listen to when you mosh and you headbang. Not so much for a pleasant lunchtime live. But that is one of the things that the OMODA voice commands can do. It's things like music, it's things like operating the car whilst you're driving, which just makes life so much easier. Okay, if I flip this around. So we're inside the showroom here. And this is one of the first things you'll see when you sit inside the OMODA 5. It is indeed the monitor, essentially this hub, this touchscreen, 10 inches, which allows you to do everything. I can see a comment saying, does it have wireless CarPlay? Yes, indeed it does. We have our Apple CarPlay, we have our Android Auto. You can also connect your phone, and that's going to make life so much easier. So rather than having to worry about USB cabling or some way of connecting it, then this is all done from this infotainment touchscreen. And even better, whilst we are talking about wireless, this also has wireless charging. I'll show you the logo here. If I put the phone down, of course, it's going to give you a strange angle, but this, there we go, you see that? There's our wireless charging icon, and I was testing this, what was it, last week? Once again, doing a lot of filming with the OMODA 5, phone was running low, chuck it down here, and half an hour later, it's right back up again. So the days of having to carry around or have Apple USB cables or Android USB cables in your car, getting grubby, getting broken usually, those days are over with the OMODA 5 because it's all done wirelessly. So that is a massive plus. And with that Apple CarPlay, with the Android Auto, it's dead easy. All right, I can see some questions about how much. So I'm currently sitting in the OMODA 5 Noble, and that comes in at 277 deposit and 277 per month with 0% APR until Monday 31st of March. So if you are interested in getting this car, I'm going to go out and show you the exterior again, then that is your deadline. 277 deposit, 277 per month. This is the Noble version, but there's also a Comfort version which comes in at 259 deposit, 259 per month, 0% APR, and that also ends Monday 31st. So you got to be quick. Once you've seen this live, head over to peoplesomoda.co.uk. You can find where your nearest branch is. I'm here in Edinburgh. There's a branch in Falkirk. There's one in Liverpool. Get your test drive and find out for yourself what this is like to drive and what it's like to be around. So I'm going to pop out just for a second because I can see that some people are just joining to show you the OMODA 5 again. Then I'm going to come back in and remind you or even show you some more things. So there's still loads that I haven't got to yet. So if you are just joining us, this is Peoples OMODA Live from Edinburgh. And the sun's beginning to come out, which is always a plus. And let me remind you of what this car looks like. Hello Paul, hello Karen, Addy, lots of you joining us, which is great. Okay, so the OMODA 5 looks like this. My glamorous assistant has shut the bonnet for me, which is great. So this is what the front of it looks like. I'll give you a more of a head-on shot. There we go. It's a compact SUV. Tell me, people who are watching, what do we think? What does this remind you of? For me, this grille very much reminds me of a beehive. It's giving honeycomb, but you might think different. Let me know. Someone suggested that it reminded them of some of the imagery from the Alien franchise movies, which I thought was very interesting. Like the eggs that hatch from the ground, it's giving Alien. I could go with that. I think beehive is better. But if you are of an opinion, what does that remind you of? This grille. It is certainly distinctive. I had a lot of different reactions driving around the Central Belt with this over the last couple of days. Head turners, people who are seeing it on the street and going, what is that? I've never seen that before. It's an OMODA 5. It's a compact SUV. This is in jade green, but also we've got it in garnet reds. This is the OMODA 5, the electric version, which we'll talk a bit more in future weeks and months to come. But it comes in garnet red, it comes in cobalt blue, obsidian black, comes in silver and white. This one in particular is jade green, which personally I really like. But of course, it's all subjective, and you can tell us which color you'd like. Looks like a Range Rover. It does, it is giving Range Rover vibes. In a way, I think the front of it is different enough, and the back particularly, that curve that I'll remind you of, is different enough. The JQ definitely gets more comparisons to a Range Rover. We're here in the Peoples OMODA JQ showroom in Edinburgh. Next to us, we have a JQ. Now the JQ, I've heard that, I can see where they're coming from there. That one is more like a Range Rover. Richard, nope, this is a petrol car. It is a petrol, this one here. The OMODA 5, it's petrol. The version behind me, which we're ignoring today, that is the E version, that's the electric version. This one is petrol. 1.6 litre turbo, I think it's a 7-speed transmission in it, 7-speed dual transmission underneath the bonnet here. So it's got a lot of power, 190 brake horsepower, and it's entirely petrol. One thing I will point out just now, how much, Richard? I'm going to come to that in just a second. Looks shocking, says Easy Rider. Well, that's why opinions are good, because we all have one. So this is the back of it here. This is a petrol, yeah. Now the first thing I noticed, Richard, when I was driving this, was I went to fill it up, and of course I'm pressing this, I'm pressing it, nothing's happening. Of course there's a switch that you have to hit when you're sitting in the driver's seat, but I know that now. In terms of cost, this is the Noble version. It comes in at 277 deposit and 277 per month. However, you can get the Comfort version, and that is 259. 259 deposit, 259 per month, 0% APR, if you get everything sorted by Monday, which is plenty of time. We've got branches here in Edinburgh, but also one in Falkirk, one in Liverpool, or Speke to be precise. And you can have this in your life, this compact SUV. All right, let's go around the back one more time, because I know some people have just joined us and would like to see what the back of this OMODA 5 looks like. I'm going to take this as wide as I can so you can see it. There we go. And no, the rugby ball does not come with the car. Can you lease it? That's a very good question. My best advice, Richard, would be check out peoplesomoda.co.uk and you'll get all the specs, all the financial options there. You'll find out essentially how you can get your hands on this car. One thing you can do is book a test drive. You'll find out for yourself what it's like. So this is the back of it. Well, I'm being told, yes, you can. You can lease it, Richard. Thank you. My glamorous assistant who's doing all the hard work, and I just get to point at things. Look how pretty this car is. Look at that. Look at the rugby ball. What is the rugby ball? Back looks 100% better than the front. Interesting. That's very interesting, Easy Rider, because I think I prefer the front. Although the back, I do like the back. I do. And part of the reason why I like it is because, and you see it in a lot of SUVs, it rounds out towards the rear. This one doesn't. This one actually curves in the way. And there's a good way, if I take it to the side, you'll see exactly what I mean. With a lot of SUVs, yeah, it rounds out. You see that? You seeing this? I'll demonstrate with my hand. It curves in the way, and then it comes back out, which is very unusual for an SUV of this size. Yeah, you can see more of the curve there. It usually comes out wider. What's the make? It's an OMODA 5. There we go, you can see it there, OMODA JQ, which may well be mirrored. But it's OMODA, O-M-O-D-A. The rugby ball, some of you who have maybe just joined us are wondering why on earth is there a rugby ball in the car. This is because OMODA are the sponsors of the European Challenge Cup, which is an international rugby competition. And there is a game in Edinburgh next Friday, and we'll be there with a couple of cars. So if you're in Edinburgh, if you're coming to the game, even better, head along just before it starts, maybe give yourself half an hour, and you can actually see the car in person. Get inside it, see what it's like around the exterior, because it's all well and good watching a TikTok live with me talking about it, but that's nothing compared to actually being there and seeing it. So, because they're the sponsors, we're going to have a couple of cars there next Friday, Edinburgh versus the Lions. I'll be there, come say hi, and we'll be live again, which is always the most fun part. Okay, back seat space. Yeah, it's time to go back inside. That's enough chatting over the exterior. What I'm going to do first of all, actually, is going to show you the passenger's space from the driver's side, and then I'm going to get in the back. So here we are, I'm in the passenger side. And once again, as a reminder, I am 6 foot tall. And to show you my knees, that's a sentence I didn't think I'd say today. Comfortable space between here and the glove compartment. And this is with the seat quite far forward, I would say. Let's adjust it. The adjustments are down here on my left, and basically I can move myself forward and back. I'm also being told that we're giving away tickets to that rugby match on Friday. We're giving tickets away for Edinburgh versus Lions. So if you are a rugby fan, if you've got a rugby fan in your life, then Peoples OMODA JQ are giving away tickets. And that is as good a reason as ever to come along next Friday. Hospitality tickets and general admission. So if you've ever wanted hospitality tickets to a rugby match, then Peoples OMODA JQ is where you need to go, because that is going to happen and someone's got to win them. And it can't be me, because then questions would be asked, eyebrows would be raised, and not by me. All right, let's see. 7-year warranty, that's one thing, yes, that's one thing I need to talk about as well. There's a couple of key facts about the OMODA, particularly the OMODA 5, which are worth repeating before I get into the space. This car comes with a 7-year warranty, or 100,000 miles, whatever happens first. And it also has a 5-star NCAP rating. And if you wonder what that is, it's basically the safety guarantee for cars. So if you, God forbid, are in an accident, how will the car handle? This one, the OMODA 5, has a 5-star rating. All right, let's jump into the back and show you some of the space as well. And then we're going to go back in the front. because there's some other cool features I'm yet to show you. All right, let's flip this around. This is the inside of the OMODA 5. There's a compact SUV. I'm going to jump in and show you exactly what it's like as a passenger. All right, in we get. For those of you who are just joining us, this is the OMODA 5. It's coming to the UK. It's new to the UK. It's a Chinese brand, and it is essentially one of the most head-turning cars that I've driven so far. All right, so in the back, this is where I'm sitting. I've moved the seat forward. I've moved it back. You can see, oh. All right, we're back again. You can see here that I still have a good amount of space between my knee and the front of the car. I'm 6 foot tall, rather than my mother, who's 5'3". So this with as a 6 foot person in the back, you can see it's comfortable. It's really comfortable. There's my feet down there, loads of space. The one thing I want to draw your attention to is in the middle console here, because often what I found is if you're in the back seat of a car, you're often, the amenities are less good in certain cars, but with the OMODA 5, they've thought of that. So let me show you. Down here, we have a USB port, and we also have a little bit of heating, because usually what you find with cars, particularly SUVs like this, is all the heating and all the power is only up front. So to have it down here is excellent, because they've actually thought of the passengers, which is very, very welcome indeed. And one last thing, and this one might be a bit more common, but it's nice to have, even on the back seats, we have our cup holders here. All right, I've been told that the rain is off. The rain has stopped, and we can go outside. Let's do it. Let's go outside. Spent too long in here, and it's getting very warm with the fumes. We're going to go outside. We're going to go outside. But the question is, do I have the keys? I've got 2 sets of keys in my hand, so we're going to figure out which of these 2 leads us to the outside. Oh, it's this one, I'm being told. All right, it's this one. Okay, going back on the tripods, and let's head outside. For those of you who are just joining us, this is Peoples OMODA Live, coming to you from Edinburgh, from sunny Edinburgh now. It was rainy Edinburgh, it's sunny Edinburgh now. And let's go and have a look at the outside OMODA 5. All right. There she is. Now this is the one I was driving. This one is like the silver edition. I want to give you that wide shot first, just so you can see the size of this car. There we go. All right. So as a compact SUV, it's deceptively big. I know when I first saw it, I thought, oh, it's just like a hatchback. Nope, it's a compact SUV, because look at the size of it. So we have, as I already pointed out, the exterior here, this really interesting design of the rear tail lights. We have our spoilers here, which are even more prominent. Now I'm standing outside, you can see them. Really, really nicely designed. And then round the front, we've got our 18-inch wheels, LED strips on the wing mirrors, and let's head inside and show you some of the other features that we're yet to talk about. And hi Vikina, hi to everybody who has joined. Thank you very much for being here. And let's get in and talk about what happens when you drive this thing, because you get all sorts of weird and wonderful things, particularly the wonderful. For example, as I get in here, I trust you heard that. It's a nice little sing-song. As soon as you get into the OMODA 5, you turn it on, it plays a nice little tune for you. What's the range, says Banjo. Great username. Range is between 32 and 37 miles per gallon. This is a petrol car, rather than a hybrid, rather than electric. And of course, it depends on how you drive it. If you drive it economically, then you're going to hit the higher range miles per gallon. If you are driving it slightly more aggressively, then of course miles per gallon is going to lower, but it's between the 32 and the 37, and I'm confident you can push it higher. Often you can, but these manufacturers, they lean towards the safe side. So 32 to 37 is broadly what they're identifying. Okay, so let me show you what happens when we get into this car. And now I'm going to stay static, because of course I'm on the phone, so I'm going to avoid driving. But let's turn this car on, and we'll show you what happens. All right, so first of all, it's just a start-stop. Now we're up and running. And what I may do, I may actually put on my seatbelt because, you know, safety first. So the seatbelt's going on. But we're going to stay exactly where we are. We're going to stay exactly here. So the first thing is the heated steering wheel, which cannot be understated in Scotland and in many other countries, how important it is to have a heated steering wheel, particularly first thing in the morning. We are just leaving the winter and spring seasons, but to come into a car and for instantly on the hands to be heating up, it does make such a difference. So having that enabled instantly makes a world of difference. There's a couple of other ones here, the heated seats. I'm going to talk about the modes in just a second. I can see someone has asked, what about the driving modes? I'm going to get to that. Here we have our, just with the press of a button, heated seats. Wonderful. And already I can feel that. I can feel that coming through just with these two here. Also have some other buttons. This is for your infotainment. I trust you can see what I'm pointing at here. Yep. This is the infotainment. And this is going to take us back to the home screen off that touch screen, which is great. Very, very good. And here is the parking. This is like your handbrake. And it just makes life so much easier, particularly if you're like me and the crunching sound of a handbrake on a manual car just is unpleasant. This is much better, much easier to know that safely you are parked. It's just lifting and pushing down that lever. And of course, here we have our main control, and that's putting us either into reverse, into neutral, or into drive. But let's talk about the modes. So once again, I presume you can see, yeah, okay, we're wide enough now. If I press this, we can see the different modes. All right, so we have normal modes, we have sport modes, and we have eco modes. Of course, we want to be on eco mode to save as much as we can, to lower our emissions, and to increase our miles per gallon. So let's sit on the eco mode, but there's the three right there. All right, continuing on. I want to talk about some other things that we can do with this. The first thing is a huge amount of the controls are actually on the steering wheel. So if I show you this from a wide, okay, so we have, for example, some of the cruise control options are all down here, as well as the infotainment options, such as skip, such as the volume up and down, voice commands, ending a phone call. All of these things are here, and even better, see this one here? That's your heated steering wheel, just with the press of a button. So just turning it on, and just like that, this heated steering wheel is coming alive. Put my hand on it, instantly feeling that. Now hilariously, I know I said it was sunny, it's now chucking it down, and I'm inside the car. So we're gonna stay here for the foreseeable future, because that may end very badly. All right, let me show you the screen in front of me. So this is the OMODA 5, if you're just joining us. One of the things that I really like about this is indeed this, and I trust you can see it rather than just the steering wheel. And it's of course giving me a 3D image of what's in front of me, because indeed we are at Peoples OMODA JQ. There are cars everywhere. And so that is what my screen here is telling me. There is a car in front. Very good. Yes, there is. But also we have the sensor that essentially tells me is the blind spot detection, which I know a lot of cars these days have, but it's so important on any new model, if you are buying a new car, to have that blind spot detection. It's just going to flash up on the inside of the wing mirrors here. So really good to have that blind spot detection. It's also got the lane sensors, so making sure that particularly on long drives, if you are beginning to get a bit tired, and of course the advice is always to pull over if you are tired, but this is going to keep you in the lane. Essentially, if it begins to sense that you're drifting over, it's going to keep you right. So it's really useful to have. I know it's something which a lot of older models don't have. The OMODA 5 certainly does. All right, cameras and sensors. Let's talk about cameras and sensors. I want to see if I can bring these up, actually, simply by going into reverse. Yes, I can. All right. So I'm going to see if I can show you this. Now, of course, I'm going to stay still here, but that is what the OMODA 5 can do. First of all, on the left-hand side, we have an aerial view of what's happening with the OMODA. It's giving me that 360-degree world view, so that if, for example, I'm only relying on the screens, I can see exactly what's all around me, but of course we want to be using our eyes and checking our rear view, checking our wing mirrors too. But that 360 world is so important. And then of course, we have our rear view cameras. This one is going to be the one you're going to stick on the most if you're reversing. It's giving me the beeps to let me know how far away I am from that Peoples OMODA JQ sign, but I'm going to stay still, so we are all good there. But of course, I can adjust it. I can choose that camera, which is round the side. I can choose that one there. That's of course our rear one. And then there's our 3D image. This is one of the things I really like about modern cars, but particularly this Omoda, is the 3D model in particular. Look at that. Isn't that fun to be able to do that? And that's only because the Omoda 5 has this 360-degree camera capability. You can actually see my tripod just outside across next to the JQ. So having this 3D model, again, it just makes life so much easier. Particularly when some of you may have been this, I was certainly this, the generation who had to learn how to reverse park without any sensors, without any cameras. Oh, the generation of today, they don't know how hard it was reverse parking a 1994 Vauxhall Corsa. This is just taking out so much of that hard work. Of course, you still have to use your eyes, you still have to pay attention, but this, the cameras, the sensors, making life so much easier. All right, that's enough beeping. We're going to put it back in park. Happy days. Okay, what else? How are the speakers, the sound system? This is something which, it's a Sony, I believe it's a Sony speaker. Let's see if I can find one with a logo. There's ones over here. Yeah, there we go. Let's show you that if you can see it. I know the sunlight may be causing some challenges here, but there we go. That's the Sony speaker. I want to see if I can test it. But to do that, I'll see if I can play the radio, because this phone, I want to avoid connecting this phone to the car, because then I'm going to start hearing my own voice, and that's the last thing we want. So if I can get some sound up in here, that would be great, just so I can test it out. Radio. All right. What do we want to be listening to? Do we want some FM, some DAB? Let's go for some DAB and play some tunes. Absolute 80s. Yep. Dab on them hairs. Yeah. So that is that's the sound system. Good song choice as well, I must say. So again, look, of course I'm mic'd up today, so it's difficult to convey the quality of that, but it sounds great. It sounds really, really good. And yes, with the DABs, with the FM, with the AM, you've got a whole range of radio stations. And as I've already talked about, you've got your Apple CarPlay, your Android Auto, your wireless charging. The Omoda 5 really has thought of everything. And thank you very much to everyone who's joining us. It's time for me, I think, to go outside, because I've been in here for too long. And it's getting very warm with my heated steering wheel, with my heated seats. Let's turn this off. For those of you who are just joining us, the Omoda 5 is a start-stop. Just like that. There we go. It'll sing me a nice little song as I leave the car too. Okay, we're gonna head outside. The sun is shining, which is always, always good. All right. And the most important thing, once I get this back on the tripod, is you've all been watching me talk about this Omoda 5. But there's one thing that's better than being on a TikTok live of the Omoda 5. It's actually booking a test drive and checking it out for yourself. So here we are. There's the wide shot. Beautiful. The Omoda 5. Now here we are at Peoples OMODA JQ in Edinburgh. I've been test driving this car for a few days now, but it's back here. And someone else needs to come and test drive it. And that's where you come in. I've talked about this car, about its capabilities, about how it looks, about how much of a head turner it is. I mean, look at that grille for a start. The back as well, very, very eye-catching. The best thing you can do is, rather than just listen to me and my opinions, is to come and book a test drive. Now you can do that at 3 locations. Here at Peoples OMODA JQ Edinburgh, but there's also Peoples OMODA JQ Falkirk and Peoples OMODA JQ Liverpool, or to be more specific, Speke. And all 3, you can get your hands on this, an Omoda 5, which, to remind you, this is the Noble version. You can get that today for $277 deposit, $277 per month, 0% APR. That lasts until Monday, so you better move quick. There's also the Comfort version of the Omoda 5. That is $259 deposit, $259 per month, 0% APR until Monday, so you have to move fast. But if you want that test drive, you can book it at peoplesomoda.co.uk. Do I have any Lambos, Howard? Not today, not today. But we have the Omoda 5. which in terms of being eye-catching, I would argue it's very close to a Lamborghini. It's going to turn a lot of heads. Look at that grille for a start. Look at the back. Maybe less of a spoiler than a Lamborghini, but certainly as eye-catching. I think it's what I like about this car is particularly around the back. The nice motor from the Flintstones. I'm pretty sure, Howard, that Flintstones car was mainly Barney Rubble's feet running. I'm not sure that counts as a car, but thank you very much for the comment. Flintstones, great show. And talking of great things, this is a great car. The Omoda 5, I have been test driving it for the last few days. And you can find out more, peoplesomoda.co.uk. Book a test drive yourself, rather than just listen to me talk about it. Drive it, you'll find out. I did mention the back, so let me show you the back. The curve off the taillight here is really what brings my attention and draws my attention to it. A couple of spoilers here. I know there was chat of Lambos there, maybe not quite the same size, but it is doing the job of a spoiler, which is to reduce the drag. There we go, that's a much better view. There we go, so you can see here, this one here, which stretches out to the left, and then this one here, that's reducing the drag of the car, makes it more aerodynamic. It does 0 to 60 in 7.9 seconds, which for a compact SUV is solid. All right, let's talk about the Lambo, because there was a mention there about do we have Lamborghinis? Not today, however, there are used cars for sale that you can go and find out more on. Rather than just the Omoda JQ, we have 30 manufacturers, 600 cars. You can head to the website, you can find out more, because rather than just Omoda JQ, today's focus, yes, is the Omoda 5, but here at Peoples, we have a huge selection of used cars, 30 manufacturers, more than 600 cars, one of which, Howard, might be a Lambo. Or is it, Andrew, a used Lambo? You never know. Maybe it's your lucky day, Andrew. Head over to Peoples OMODA or look up the used cars. Maybe they have a used Lambo. It might just be today. Okay, it's time for some Q&A. I know I've been doing a lot of talking, so now it's time for you to do some talking. Thank you everybody for the comments. I trust you can still hear me. The wind is really picking up here, so I might head inside just to take some final questions. If you have stuck around the whole way through, thank you so much for watching. This has been the Omoda 5 live, Peoples OMODA live, here in Edinburgh, or specifically Hermiston. I'm going to sit on this shot here because it really is quite something. You see that driving around? You're going to stop and say, oh, what is that? Is it the alien eggs from the franchise? Is it a honeycomb? Is it a beehive? It's whatever you want it to be. It's the Omoda 5. Petrol, 1.6 litre engine, Falkirk over Edinburgh. I'm going to avoid that discussion today, Andrew, but yes, Peoples are in Falkirk, they are in Edinburgh, they are in Liverpool. It is getting too windy, so I'm going to head inside and we're going to wrap this live, which has been great fun. Really enjoyed showing you all the Omoda 5. We're back inside now, back in the warm and avoiding the wind. All right. If you have further questions, please do let us know. I'll remind you this is the Omoda 5, and if you want to see it in person, you can. And there's two ways of doing so. Number one is come and visit us. Peoples OMODA JQ, we're in Edinburgh, we're in Falkirk, we're in Liverpool. It's not my job to pick which one is better, but thank you, Andrew, for the suggestion. And you can come and test drive it, book a test drive. I've been test driving it, creating some content over the last few days. It's a really nice car to drive. It's smooth, it's quiet, and it's got a really powerful engine too. 190 brake horsepower, 1.6 litre petrol engine. Miles per gallon, it depends on how you're going to drive it, but it's roughly 32 to 37. And as I have shown you, it is quite the head turner. Look at that. Look at that grille. If you want to find out more, book that test drive. I did say the best way of doing that is by coming to visit us at Peoples OMODA JQ. But if you are heading to the rugby next week, first of all, there are some tickets to be given away by Peoples OMODA JQ, hospitality tickets and general admission tickets for, if it was not enough of a giveaway, the rugby that's happening next Friday. That is Edinburgh versus the Lions. It's happening at Hive Stadium, which is right next to Murrayfield. It's the smaller one next door. We're going to be there with a couple of these cars. So if you want to see it in person, that's the perfect time to do so. And who knows, maybe this time next week, you'll be preparing to take in the hospitality of some Edinburgh rugby. I'm on the Edinburgh. And this is exactly what you're going to see, one of the Omoda 5s. But we're also here in the Omoda JQ showroom where you see cars like this. It was a few weeks ago we did a JQ7 live, but another beautiful car, which is well worth digging into and seeing if that's the car for you. All right, we're coming up to 1/4 the hour, so we're going to wrap it in a couple minutes time, but thank you all for being here, and hi to people who are just joining. This is the Omoda 5. I'm going to get out the way so you can see it. Once again, a really stunning car. Comes in a range of colors. This is the jade green version. You know what, we'll finish by showing you the back again. And we'll call it a day. It's such a distinctive car. That's what really makes it stand out for me. It's the fact that it looks unlike anything else on the roads currently. There we go. There's a nice wide shot. It's a compact SUV. Deceptively large, very powerful. It's the shape, it's the design, it's sleek, it's slick, it drives really well. And rather than take my word for it, book a test drive. Come along to Peoples OMODA JQ here in Edinburgh, in the west of the city in Hermiston, or indeed in Falkirk, or even better in Liverpool, or to be specific, Speke. You can book a test drive with this, you'll get to experience what I did, which is how nicely this thing drives. All right. That is going to be it from us here at Peoples OMODA Live in Edinburgh. My name's been Colin. My name's always Colin. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your comments, for your questions. I trust you've enjoyed it. I certainly have. And the sun came out even better because I was slightly concerned we were going to be inside the whole way through. If you want to find out more, you can. peoplesomoda.co.uk, or if you're on our TikTok, you may as well just jump on the page and you'll see even more from whether it's this car, it's the car over there, the JQ7, all your social media, you can check us out, look us up, and you'll see even more about this very special car. That's going to be it. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time for even more amazing cars from Peoples. Bye.